Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your guy, Darnell Tate, and you are welcome, as always, to the Conversation Podcast. Today has been such a beautiful day for me, and I hope that it has been the same way for you. We're doing something different than we normally do. Usually, we share our podcast and stream it on our individual pages, but we try and bring traffic to our company page. And by us doing that, the way we're doing it is, we're going to share this to other pages. That way it would bring traffic to our page. So if you hear, just let us know, like, where you coming from, where you are watching this from, where you're calling from, however you want to call it. Just let us know where you're from. Just put in the comment section, and we would like to know, and we will definitely shout you out. So I want to say good evening, everybody. I hope that your day has been beautiful. Like I said, my day went extremely well. And ask me what I do. I didn't do nothing. I just chilled most of the day. I just relaxed. Believe it or not, I relaxed, and and that was mainly it. Today we have a special guest, and I know you're going to enjoy this young lady that we're going to be inviting to the conversation, aka the couch, and we're going to be talking about a serious issue. Now, as you already know, anytime we have a serious issue, we're going to have fun in the midst of the conversation. So what I need you to do is like, share, and tag that the conversation podcast is on the air. And guess what? I'm going to be doing the same thing. Okay. So what we're about to do, we're about to show a quick commercial, and listen, patronize our sponsors, okay? Tis the season is our theme for the month. This time of the year, those of the Christian faith reflect on God's gift to the human race in the person of Jesus the Christ. The Conversation Podcast take this time out to reflect on love in its ultimate expression, which is giving. Christ is the reason for this season. How would you like for your company to be shouted out? The Conversation Podcast highlights 2 businesses every month. If you would like for your business to be mentioned, email us at rareimage26 with your information. Launching in spring of 2023 is Kingdom Landscaping Lawn Care in the Grand Rapids area of Michigan. The owner and operator is Deontay Colvin. You can contact him at 1-616-580-0895 for detailed information. Hey ladies, are you looking for an experienced stylist that can get you right? Look no more. If you are in the Northwest Tennessee area, contact Gary Pearson at the Experience Salon located at 620 Old Hickory Boulevard, Suite 450 in Jackson, Tennessee. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. On February 25th, 2023, I Am Hair and Business Summit will be held in Humboldt, Tennessee. Contact Gary Pearson, the host, educator, and influencer at 731-616-5676 for further information. Have you considered sponsoring? You can do so by Cash App or set up recurring payments. Our Cash App is $RareImage26. For recurring payments, email us at rareimage26@gmail.com for more information. Hey, what's up, everybody? We are back. Jonice will not be on the show tonight. She is taking a break, but she definitely will be in the comment section. She told me that she's gonna be stalking us because of our other friends who are gonna be on the show. So she's definitely gonna be stalking us. It's about to be a great conversation. And like I said, I need you to like, share, and tag. Let everyone know that we are on the air. We are definitely on the air. So at this time, we about to bring to the Conversation Podcast when I tell you this woman is very trying to find a word for intelligence is definitely it. Very knowledgeable on so many fronts. Like every time I leave a conversation with her, I literally leave with more questions. She's definitely a pusher. She's definitely has become one of my closest friends, and I enjoy talking with her and talking to her. So at this time, let's welcome our guest Tabitha to the Conversation podcast. Come on, everybody, give her a round of applause.
Hi,
Hey, what?
everybody.
Oh, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you? Let me fix this.
Doing wonderful. Doing wonderful. You looking beautiful.
Thank you. So you
All
got
right,
your
great.
waves going tonight?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I had to lay it down. I didn't get a chance to get to the barbershop, so I was like, "Yo, I gotta do something." And yeah, to lay that joker down like real quick, and it's
Mhm.
it's it's popping really good. I'm surprised. Surprised.
I see you.
Like,
Okay.
so how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Thank you for inviting me to be a part of you guys' podcast. I'm always on there dropping in little nuggets, making jokes. So this is good. Even though
You
this is
do.
a
You
serious
do.
topic, but this is good. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Mm.
I know it's a very serious topic, and I'm trying to stay light. It doesn't mean we gotta have that serious face, and all that. And we still can laugh and make joke about a whole lot of stuff. So tell our viewers something about yourself so they can know who you are.
Okay. I am studying to be a life coach currently. I'm a serial entrepreneur. um, I love children, and I love God and my fish.
Your fish.
No, so sorry, I'm just making jokes, guys.
Like, yeah,
But really, I'm a person about truth. I like to make sure that I have an understanding. I try to provoke thought into people. I like for people to actually have an opportunity to think in a different direction, think in a different way, because we get caught up in one way of thinking and we get in a
yeah.
box. So I like to promote forward thinking. So
And you
that's
good at
just,
that. You
well,
are
thank
really good. Just last night, we have our conversations. And so I got phone with you last night, and I was sitting there just thinking, like, what can I do better to push myself forward? Like,
you.
how can I evolve more? Like, this chick got me like crazy. Let's shout our people out. Mr. Gary Pearson. Hey, bro, how you doing, man? How you doing, Mr. Entrepreneur, man? He's gonna be on our show in February. I can't wait to talk to
Oh,
him.
awesome.
Yeah, man. He just opened up a hair salon, and
Okay.
yeah, I made a joke about last week. I said the boat does float, and Jonisha made a statement that she don't know about that, whatever. But yeah, we floating. Well, barely. Hey, Bishop Kenny Simmons. Hello, Bishop. How you doing? That's my pastor. That's what I'll be talking about all the time.
Oh, hello, Pastor.
Yeah. Hey, hey, Auntie. Hey, Wonder Tate. That was our winner the other week. Oh,
Oh,
y'all, we
that's
giving
great.
away a prize this week too. A $25 gift card. So stay on in order to win it. All right. Stay on. Stay on. But yeah, you were definitely a pusher. You definitely a
Mhm.
pusher. And I'm not quick to say what I'm about to say. I believe that like this connection is a God sent connection because even
Yeah,
when coming out to my personal life, it's like, okay, D, what you gonna do to make yourself better? And that's what
yeah.
friendship should be about.
Yeah, I think, God has a reason for everything that he does, right?
Mhm.
And sometimes when we're in a space where we're unsure, he will send people to help untangle the cords, right?
Yeah,
So I mean, thinking not strange. And I'm able to glean from you as well. I'm learning a lot about things that I would not have normally thought about, just in regards to ministry and church and things like that. So it has been very helpful. You're helping bust some of the myths that I have run into. So it
vice
works out
versa.
good. Yeah, yeah.
Vice versa. I like that. That little synergy effect. Yo, I like that so much. Hey, Miss Christy Coleman. Hello, Black
Hi.
Swan. Hey. So you ain't gotta be nervous. You got your own podcast and
No, I'm
look,
not.
I
I'm
see
actually.
your
Let me tell
stuff.
y'all. So I don't have the fancy. I'm traveling right now, so I don't have my setup. So I'm holding the phone. So I'm trying to like keep it still for everybody, but yeah, I'm not nervous. But I do have a podcast. It's called the Hallway Podcast. The reason it's called the hallway podcast because in life we're either going out, coming out of something, or going into something, and so that is the place where we take the opportunity to figure out what our next steps are to do the work, the healing work, the rejuvenation work, whatever we need to do before we step into that next door. So
Man, y'all, I'm telling y'all gotta check it out. Tell them what platform is on.
it's on Clubhouse, it's on Instagram. We will be starting back up January 6th. So it's going to be every Tuesday and Thursday. We might switch the dates. I'm not sure. But we talk about everything, relationships, to politics. We talk about everything. Nothing is too small or too big or too uncomfortable, what I like to say.
Sound like my type of conversation right there.
Absolutely. This is
Yeah,
the conversation. So that was a plug.
absolutely. So,
Okay.
girl, hey, glad that you on. She's
Hi,
on our page,
girl.
so she's showing up as the company. Uh, Bishop, we about to get into this conversation tonight. Um, what is the focus? Tonight we're talking about depression and suicide.
Hmm.
And it's a heavy conversation. And I'm not trying to be a downer with anyone, but just trying to bring some light. I think the more we talk about things, it won't be as heavy as we make it to be. It'll be a normal conversation. That way, people won't be so afraid to say, "Hey, I'm not feeling well." So,
Yes.
we was gonna talk about something else. We had a whole relationship conversation that we were about to had, and a tragedy struck, which kind of opened the door of something that was already on my heart. Because this time of the year, which I had a conversation with Joe, I was like, "Yo, man, um, that's an underlying current that happens during this time of the year, and people know how to put on a good front and they smile, but they're really down for many different reasons. And I
Hmm.
don't understand, and I'm not a therapist, but I know my personal experiences. I don't get, why it's this time of the year. Maybe it's it gets dark quicker. I don't
Yeah.
know. But we're gonna have a conversation about depression,
Yeah.
and our experiences and things like that. So,
Yeah.
have
I
you?
think I
Go ahead.
think you touched on something. So my opinion on what happens is that it's the pressures of the holiday, right? So there's this ritualistic thing that happens every year during the holidays where people feel pressured. I got to buy all these presents. I have to buy all these things for my kids. I got to decorate a tree. Everything is go buy, 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 make yourself feel good for this season. And you haven't been feeling good all year.
Mhm.
But you got to put on a smile, put on a good face, bring the family over that you ain't talked to in months. Playing the part is what I like to say. Not saying everybody, but when you have to put on that level of a facade for a month or two, right? And you feel the pressure because you want to impress people that you may have thought that looked down on you. It's a whole thing. And so you kind of implode quietly with a smile, and then after the holiday is over, you find yourself stuck with unwanted bills, pressures, things you shouldn't have done but you did. So you spend the rest of the year digging yourself out, you know, and that can send people down the rabbit hole, spiral into depression and not feeling good enough, and sitting in the space of I shouldn't have made those mistakes, right? Without
Yeah.
giving themselves grace or trying to figure out how can I do something different next time. So
You know,
it's a
you
lot.
said something. Like, my mom had changed churches when I think I was about 10, right?
Hmm.
And so the church taught, and I know a lot of people may not like what I'm about to say, they taught us that, Santa wasn't real and things like that. Now, it no lie. Can you imagine finding out that Santa isn't real, at 10? I'm looking at my mom, my dad are like, "Why you lie to me? Like, why you telling me this lie for?" And, so, one thing, it put things in proper place because, as a kid, they tell you, "Be good all year long. This is what you're gonna
Hmm.
get," right? So
Yeah.
once I realized the truth of things, I began to realize the struggle. Yes, Joe, the lies, right? I began
Yeah.
to realize the struggle that my parents was having to make sure that we had a good Christmas, make sure
Yeah.
that we had something we could brag about, and
Mhm.
it gave me a level of appreciation for what my mom, because at the time my mom and my dad, had separated, what she was trying to do for us at that moment. And also they taught us like, hey, don't try to be part of the rat race. You do for your
Yeah,
kids all year long. If you can't, you know what you have provided for them all year long. So it freed us up, and I
yeah,
was young. I didn't really get it, but I got it. So when I
yeah,
got older, I was like, look, I got my babies. Like I do for you all year long. Like I
yeah,
buy you whatever you want majority of the time. I'm not going to waste myself in this time and burden myself. That's the word I was looking for. Burden myself
yeah.
to provide these gifts so you can go and brag about it. Then here I am, rest of the year, I'm in debt.
Struggling. Right.
Right, right,
Mad at your kids for the rest of the year because you made a decision.
right.
I'm saying, right.
No, and look at this. There's the funny part about it. Like when they tear up that toy, you just want to cuss them out real hard.
Yeah, because that was your money. You looking like,
Mhm.
I know I grew up differently. So for me, uh, we didn't, Santa, who is that? Okay, because I buy these presents, I go to work every day. You will respect me. You lucky if you get a gift. You
Yeah,
know, Christmas was not about gifts and presents in my house. It was about, Jesus Christ. It was about the manger. It was about everything. And so I didn't grow up with that traditionalism, but a lot of people around me did. So I had to be I was taught, don't go to nobody's house ruining their Christmas, okay? Don't go in there telling your friends it ain't no Santa. Let their
yep,
parents work that out. And I used to be like, your mama bought that. They
yeah,
had elves hanging up and all kind. But as a kid, I wanted that. I kind of wish that like I was able to, experience that because my friends were so happy. But it was like, no, we work hard all year to provide. It's just one day we show you how much we love you throughout the year. So this ain't no different day,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
It's twofold. You know what I mean? It's kind of like
It
it's a
it
little,
is. So
yeah,
like what I did with my kids, like even though we didn't celebrate the traditional way. Now my daughter, she put up the whole Christmas tree and stuff like that, but I made sure that they had a good Christmas. Like they enjoyed themselves. We did things like we built gingerbread houses and we played games that where they can have an experience. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Because I know some people that didn't believe in nothing. They was like, "No, we're not doing nothing." I mean, because we're not celebrating that at all. But you're right; it's that rat race that
mhm,
that happens because of the time of the year. And you did bring out that valid point. That's a good point right there. Um, but it's funny, even those who have the ability to give and they have all the money in the world, that depression still sets in, that darkness still sets in, and it's crazy
yeah.
how it
Because
does.
money doesn't buy peace. It doesn't buy peace. Doesn't get rid of loneliness. You know, these are like deep seated things that have to be worked out, that have to be healed. There's a process, right? And so we try to fill those spaces up with things and people, and we haven't done the work. And then it shows up when we're alone, right? It
It
shows
does.
up when we're at the most inopportune time. We finally get everything together, we get the job, we get the house, and now we can understand, like, what is this? Why am I heavy? Why do I feel this way? Right. And so unfortunately a lot of people do fall into depression. I know for me, I'll just share my experience. Whew, I dealt with depression because I I grew up different, having to take care of myself, fend for myself, which a lot of people have. But all I knew was go, 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 like survive. You need to survive.
Yeah.
That's it. So when I finally did get a place of peace, everything just hit me, right? So what I realized is that in my life, when things would happen to me or people would do things to me, because I had to keep going, I had these shelves in my mind. So like, give an example. If you slap me, not that you would, but if you slap me, I was so busy in life that I wouldn't even be able to process that. I have to take that, put it on my shelf, and keep going. And so it got to a point in my life, I think I was like 34, where um, everything shut down. Like my shelves broke and I did not have the tools to put it back together. Like everything fell off the shelf all at one time. And I spiraled. And it was like the darkest time of my life because I had everything that I needed, but I was not okay. And so I didn't even have the tools to be able to act like I was okay anymore. You know, I didn't even
Yeah.
have those tools. So I had to sit in that and do the work and pray. And I'm gonna tell you, I was praying. I was like, Lord, where you at? You know what I'm saying? Where are you? You know, this is the time to show up, you know? So I can attest to, I would tell people that are in that space, right? Try to be present in the moment. If you feel feelings are, if you feel something, it's okay to feel it, but you need to source where is it coming from. You need to
Right.
do the work right then. Don't let it pile up on you. You know, that's what the enemy wants you to do. Don't let it pile up. Try to take some time for yourself. Like it's okay to not be okay, but it's not okay to not deal with that. Yeah.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
agree with you. So this is gonna be like an open, like candid moment. And so like my closest family and friends know about this, okay? So like you talking about that going thing, like something hit you, just keep going. Like you don't process that experience. You don't because I was never taught how to sit and not I'm not saying enjoy, but to be present with what I was feeling.
Yeah.
So I just kept moving, kept moving, kept moving. 2.5 years ago when COVID first hit, I ended up getting COVID. So that's a lot that went with that and came with that. Part of that was, the memory loss and all of that. So here I am. I just kept moving. Job closed down. I kept moving. I found ways to supplement my income. Kept moving. Ended up having surgery the same year. Shout out to my baby girl. She made sure all the bills stay paid. Um,
That's
Kept
beautiful.
moving. Went back to work. I never forget the first day I went back to work. Like, and this is the God's no truth. I couldn't remember anything. It's like like people. I knew who they were. Can I remember them? And so I played around with it. Like I would joke with, hey, this whatever, whatever, and make a joke trying to figure out now, who am I talking to? Now I know who you are, but who am I talking to? So I made it my business. I went to the doctor, said, look, I'm losing my memory. Like seriously. And they sent me to a neuro, went through a series of tests, and they're gonna tell me, well, we gonna be able to get you in to do this other part of the test until 6 months down the road. I'm like, "Yo, anything can happen then, like, I might be having dementia or Alzheimer's, whatever, and I'll just lose my mind or whatever." And so, thank God, a door came open. I was able to get in 3 months, before or whatever, and, went in to do the test. And so, I mean, it felt like I was going through a psychological exam, like, literally. Like, they was digging
Yeah.
about childhood. I'm like, "What does my childhood have to do with me forgetting anything?"
Everything.
And they're
Mhm.
asking questions about my emotions. How do I process this? I'm like, and so back in my head, like, doc, this ain't got nothing to do with that. Like, for real, get to the point. I feel like I'm going through this type of exam. Like, are you trying to see if I'm crazy? Is that what you're trying to do?
Like y'all trying to see, they're trying to see if they need to wrap you up and put you in the back.
Right. I'm like, are y'all finna put me in a straight jacket or what? Like, what is it? I'm like, literally. So I'm in there, like, I think I slick got defensive with the doctor. I'm like, and he was having me to count this way. I had to count backwards 7 by 7s, and I'm like, "Look, who does this? Like, I barely can count back by 2s and 3s, and you have me count by 7s." I'm like, "Come on now." I'm making fun. I'm being joking.
It's
But,
okay. Get free. Get free.
yeah, so,
Don't even worry about it.
after it's all said and done, my doctor called me in 2 days later. He said, "Hey, can I meet with you?" Like, "Sure." He said, "You went through the test. We did the lab work. You're not going crazy. You don't have dementia. And, there's nothing showing up in your lab work." He said, "But, um, there is something that's going on." I'm like, "What is it?" He was like, "Well, you score very high for depression and anxiety." And so to me, I told somebody that was a sigh of relief. And he
Yeah.
began to explain to me, he's like, depression looks different on with every person.
Hmm. Yes, that's true.
And so I'm thinking, I did start doing something because Cheryl had pointed out because she had called me. She's like, "Yo, are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." She said, "You're doing more sleeping than normal." At this time, I had found myself sleeping like for hours at a time. Like, I can go sleep, get home at 7:30, and I won't wake up to 6:30 in the evening.
Wow. Do you know why people sleep that way? What I discovered is so when you're depressed and you sleep, it's when the body has experienced high levels of trauma, it has to start to try and repair and heal itself.
Yeah,
So if you wake up and you're depressed and you're sad, it will shut itself down so that it can rejuvenate because it can't take anymore. So you
wow.
feel like you got to keep sleeping, like you just want to lay down, like
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You find yourself extremely tired, and when you lay down, you down, you know,
yeah,
and that's your only peace because everything stops. So,
mhm,
yeah.
yeah, and
Mm.
so, months prior, I ended up losing my job, fault of my own, but did not know, like, that was all tied in and did not know I was even battling depression and anxiety, and so when I, came to that realization, I really felt free because then I knew what I was facing. And
Hmm.
I'm that type of dude, some people sound like no, not sound like, but they make up this thing where, I don't wanna know what I'm dealing with. I just wanna just keep moving. I'm that guy like, "Look, I wanna know who the Goliath that I'm facing. Who are his brothers? I need to know all of them."
Yeah.
When I found out I was depressed, I was like, "Oh, that's what it is? That's my experience? That's what's going on?" And so he gave me an option. He's like, "Look, we can sign you up for some counseling, and medication." So I took my options and, I'm dealing with it, and thank God for answers
Yeah.
and, moving forward in it.
That's good.
Yeah. I did not know there was a high functioning depressive type of people that exist.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
There are the happiest people, the people that are able to maintain so many things at one time are
Mhm.
usually the high functioning depressed people because they figured out how to not shut down but to keep moving. Doesn't mean they're not broken, you
Right.
know. When you are in survival mode and you don't have a choice, you have to keep going. Like you learn how to, like it's like in the wild, animals adapt to their environment, right? They adapt to whatever surroundings. The forest changes all the time. I'm a nerd, y'all. Sorry, but so they adapt to whatever environment they end up in. You know,
Mhm.
if the forest burns down, they got to go somewhere else. Like they adapt there.
True. My pastor made a statement, said, "Sometimes I think we stay away from the question that I'm asked by church people, and that is, where does this come from? Right now, it is taboo." And I think like,
Yes.
yeah,
Oh,
I think, yeah, that's one of my things. I feel like before I even found out about my situation, because I work in the mental health field, so like I'm sensitive to people experiences. And so I deal with people who are mentally ill,
yeah.
physically disabled, and the whole spectrum of it all. And because of that, I'm sensitive, and I do know and I do understand that within the confines of religion, especially the Pentecostal charismatic churches, we don't like talking about that. We hate dealing with it. We over spiritualize it. And I know the other day you and I was talking, and I was telling you about this lady. Yeah, I had you laughing about it, and I always had her at the altar. They said she had a demon and need to be casted out. And I'm like, yo, y'all been trying to cast this same demon out for like 40, 50 years and nothing moved. It gotta be something different. It can't be. You you said you anointed and full of the Spirit of God. Your former pastor was anointed full of the Spirit of God, and the pastor before him was anointed and full of the Spirit of God. All this power and they can't move that. It can't be what you think it is.
But was it power though?
Um,
Because here's the flip side to that is you can tarry all day long with somebody if they not ready, if they are comfortable in that space and they really don't want to yield to what is happening, you gonna be rolling around all day, like
yeah, that's true.
you know
Another thing, but I
that.
don't think she was mentally cognitive enough to realize because she had that
Yeah.
disability.
Hmm.
And then, come to find out about their history, it made much sense. You know,
Yeah.
um, like when you do drugs or alcohol with your children, you really setting that child up for so much everything.
Yeah.
And so,
Why? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, no. Finish it. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So, I start having a different perspective about when it comes down to mental illnesses, and how to handle those situations. Do I believe in demons? Yeah. I believe some things is demonic, but not everything is demonic. Some things are the natural course of what have happened. Not their resort, not the devil, but it is what it is. And we have to deal with it and try to find a way how to, I can't find a word for it, but to handle the situation.
Process it all. Yeah.
Yeah, Bishop, right. A chemical imbalance. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Like I say this, it's funny how we can see um disfigured limbs, and everything else, but we cannot imagine that the brain could be dysfunctional.
I don't understand. I It has always baffled me that there is so much peace and truth, right? Why do
Mhm.
we not want to know what's wrong? Like, I mean, I this is what my opinion. What I think it is that we everybody loves the Lord, right? And
Right.
so, I feel like people will church. I will say in the church, not everyone, but in the church, people it's taboo because for them to say that I'm sick or something's wrong with me mentally or I feel away is saying that you don't have faith or you don't believe in God. And I think that that's what they associate it to. So nobody want to say that they not right or that they need help, right? Because they don't want to
Yeah.
be looked down upon. And then no one really, not saying no one, but if you're not in a space where it's free for you to be honest about what's really going on with you, right? So you can triage a thing and really dig into it and get to the root of it so you can fix it, then you will put on a facade and act like, oh no, I'm fine, I'm fine. And you're not, you're broken,
Yeah.
right? Nobody wants to look like they don't have faith, they don't believe. I'll tell you a funny story. So when I was little, I'm telling y'all, like my dad's a pastor, but let me tell you, I used to get on his nerve, okay? Because we would go to these churches and they would call the kids up for prayer. And I was the kid that would get up there and everybody's standing in line, and they say, lift your hands and give it to the Lord, give them all your cares. And, they come around, ask you, put the mic, and here go me. So what does that look like? Like, if I could reach in and give it to him, I would. Did he take it? So needless to say,
They
but
didn't
you
put the
couldn't
mic in
just,
your
as a
mouth
kid,
anymore.
like you could not just tell me any. You can't just. You're not giving me no extra. I don't have no. You're not. Nothing's happening, so I don't understand what's going on.
Right.
So it's like nobody wants to look like they don't understand the move of God. They don't
Mhm.
want to look like God's not moving in their life. Because if you admit that you're not okay, then what you dealing with? Oh, it's a spirit. Oh, it's this. People have not learned how to process trauma as a child, as a young adult, as an
Mhm.
adult, things they haven't dealt with in life. They've just been constantly moving. And so it shouldn't be looked down upon. We just need to get the information to help people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and that's the truth. And you're right. And I said like this all the time. Like, truth actually sets you free.
Yes.
But,
Yes.
but people more concerned about supporting their beliefs than accepting the truth. So whatever
But
their
God
beliefs
is
are,
truth, though. But God is
God is
truth,
truth.
right? So how
Right.
is God is truth and everything else is a lie? So you can't have that and not that. That don't make it make sense. You know, it's
You
giving
know,
him the spirit of
we're
Noah. Just saying, just giving.
you're right. We gotta make it make sense. You know, the reality of it is, it's like a lot of us are delusional about what truth is and how truth is presented. So, like you said about the whole faith aspect, if I say this is my reality, I mean I don't have faith. So then I have to put on a facade as if that I have faith because I don't want this reality to look as if I don't have faith. Creflo Dollar said something the other day. He was talking about when he dealt with things.
Hmm.
He said every time he went through a trial, he would question himself, is his faith is strong? And he believed that it was something wrong with his faith because he was feeling some type of way and he was dealing with some things. He said he is now mature to the point where he realized his faith had nothing to do with his feelings, his situation, or his reality.
Yes.
Because whether things get good or they are bad, your faith is Jesus Christ, and Jesus Christ is the truth. So, if, like you said, if God is the truth, why can't we accept what it is?
Yeah. And also I want to add to that. So if you think about it like this, right? So when Jesus was going to the cross,
Mhm.
Um, there was a point when he asked, you know, can you please take this cup from me? Because of the way he felt. He felt all of it, right? So if he felt everything and he acknowledged that there was a problem, like I am struggling, right?
Yeah.
It was so that you understand what I'm trying to say? Like if he felt that, if he was able to tap into that for us, yeah, that should tell you that it is okay for you to feel how you feel. You just need to process it, right?
That's it.
You need to get help. Don't just sit in it, you know.
That's it.
Um, we forget about that aspect, but that's a big part. Like we act like it's not okay for us to feel the way. Jesus felt every time he got hit, he felt it.
He felt it.
Felt everything, every emotion, he felt everything, you
That's
know?
right.
So we can't remove him out of the equation and say, well, does that make us bigger than God? Because he felt and we're not allowed to? That don't make sense.
Yeah, and the thing of it is, people fail to realize when we talk about us being created in the image of the Father,
Hmm.
that means that everything about us had to come from the Father. Our emotions,
Yeah.
every emotion, God put that in us.
Hmm.
And for us to deny that is to deny what He has placed in us.
Right.
Like, like my sister said, make that make sense. Like, you gotta
Hmm.
make it make sense. Bishop said you can't see this like a broke leg. The church addressed it somewhere between a sin problem and they're going through something. And that's how they handle it. So
But
you must be
you're
seeing that.
going through it. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so at what point do we decide to get real? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going through it. You're gonna be going through it for 40 years for what? You know what I mean? Let's do the work. Let's ask the questions. Like, you know, it's kind of like you're frustrated, you're going through, you're sitting there hurting. And a lot of times people are so used to hurting that they don't know, they don't even want to imagine what it would be like outside of that pain, right?
Mm,
So if I've had this burn on my arm or this mole on my arm for, let's say, 20 years, and the doctor's like, oh, we need to remove it. Well, I don't know because I had it so long. Who am I without this mole? Like, who are you without that pain? Who are you without a problem, without an issue, without being sad or depressed? What does that
yeah.
look like? That means that you're going to have to now do everything that you're called to do because there are no more excuses. And I feel
You
like
have
some people will sit in that
right.
because they don't want the responsibility of doing what they're called to do or what they're supposed to do, you know.
So basically you like saying we have made our problem our identity.
Hmm. Yeah. Yep. Not
That's a whole nother
everyone,
subject.
not everyone, but
Yeah.
you know, if I'm the person who's always known to always having this problem, and when people greet me, they greet me in almost not like pity, but oh, you know, that's so and so, or that's Johnny. He's been struggling his whole life. Like people wear that with a badge of honor. Let's get free. You know what
Man.
I'm saying? Let's get another identity. Something else will look better on you. You know, but we're so afraid to tap into that because there's responsibility behind that. Once I know the truth about what's wrong with me, and if I've caused it or if I allow someone else to cause it, then now I have to act on it. I have to do something about it. And so if you're not in a position where you want to actually be responsible or do that, then you'll stay. Sit in it.
Yeah.
You know.
You're right.
So
You're right.
it gets I feel like, you know, we all say we want to be happy. We all say that we desire to do better. We talk a good game, like we got words coming out of our eyeballs, but where is the application?
And that's the question. Where's the
What if
application of wanting to do better?
if it could be better? Yeah, like what if what if there was an opportunity for you to actually be who you saw yourself, how you saw yourself, you know?
Yeah.
What if there was an opportunity for you to really be happy about the truth and understand it? What you really wanted? I think we have to start there. What you wanted? Because it would change your whole life. Everything you thought turned upside down, and everything you thought was right is now.
Okay. Can you hear me? Okay, y'all. We have some technical difficulties right now. Y'all please excuse us. Y'all know how technology can be. Tabitha, can you hear me? Okay. So she was saying that we once we learn to do better, we got to do better. And some of us like staying in those places that keep us in a dark place. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Say something. I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Okay. Uh, those in the comment section, if you can hear me, please say something because we have
Can you hear
some
me?
connection issues right here.
Okay. Yeah, it's very staticky. I don't know if you can hear that.
Oh, it's okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Um, yeah. So you made a valid point. There are those of us who like to stay in that place of depression. They like it. Okay, good. Thank you, Jonisha. Thank you, Pastor. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So Tabitha having some connection issues on her end. Um, I really want to say this about allowing your depression. Um, one thing that I discovered with my experience is the feeling that I can't talk to anybody or no one will understand, or I don't want to overwhelm anyone with my situations or my problems. Um, I thank God for my circle. Like me and my sister Jonisha was talking today, which was kind of funny because we was talking about the functioning, depressive person. And so I was like, mine was different. She's like, I knew you was dealing with something. I was like, how you know? She said, because you changed. She said, but I had to pay attention to you to realize that, there was a change that you was experiencing. And I told her, I said, girl, that's because you nosy. It's so but you gotta have those people in your life that are nosy. You gotta have those people who are so in tune with you that they see that, okay, um, something is wrong with her or him. Something is different. He or she is saying they're fine, but there is something wrong with them. So what you have to do as an individual is this right here. Yeah, Joe, I called you nosy. I called you nosy. Um, you have to make yourself available to those persons that they can hear you, that they can be heard, not hear you, but be heard. Make yourself present without judgment. This is what I'm learning dealing with people that sometimes it's not your response that really get their attention, but what catches their attention is the fact that you listen to them without any judgment. Let them express how they feel, however they feel, what they're going through, whatever they're experiencing. And I had to learn this in my with my sanctified self and my churchy self that sometimes when people are in their moments, there are going to be things that is said that is not always right. I've heard saints get to a point where they were so bogged down that they cussed. Yes, they cussed and I had to pull back and not judge them. Be like, oh, they saved. They ain't supposed to. They supposed to have all God. They supposed to. They know. I had to stop doing that and realize they're dealing with some issues. They're dealing with some traumas, and a lot of times those traumas they're experiencing just did not just happen. A lot of us, me, you, a lot of us dealing with childhood trauma, things that mom and daddy said, things that cousin them did to us, those secrets that we don't like talking about because we don't want to be put in a situation of just so much and we hold it in. And soon as something happens, it triggers those experiences. And the reason why I brought up this conversation that put a face to this thought that was in my mind was Twitch. I mean, a popular guy had everything going. a happy-go-lucky person, and he wasn't the first one. Remember the guy who played Miss Doubtfire? Somebody put his name in the comment section. I can't think his name right now. Extremely happy, had everything going for himself, and they took themselves out. And the reason why is always unknown. And what we always do from the back end, we always say, "Well, if you need to talk to me. You know, I'm here for you." But did you make yourself available? That's right. Thank you, Kelly. Robin Williams. Did you make yourself available to that person? Sometimes when you think that person is dealing with something, maybe not always asking the question may not be necessary for us believers. Maybe just calling them and say, "Hey, I'm just thinking about it and I love you," or "Can I pray with you?" Some of those simple things mean a whole lot. Or just, "Hey, do you want to hang out?" I remember when I was going through when I had my surgery and I was feeling some type of way. I didn't tell nobody. I'm not used to being in the house. My sister called me and she said, "Hey, get yourself together. I got a concert. I'm taking you. Don't worry about anything. I'm paying for it all." She picked me up, and the only thing she required me to do is to stay awake. Now, because anybody who know me, when I get in your car, I'm on that passenger side. I'm going to sleep. And she was like, "Stay awake. That's all I need you to do." And it was one of those moments that I experienced so much happiness just to get out the house because I was feeling some type of way. And one reason I feel some type of way because I was stuck in the house, and then bills start rolling in. My daughter was taking care of all the main bills. I had other bills coming in, like, okay, I don't have any money to take care of this. I don't know how I'm going to handle this. Now, I'm not telling you all this to feel sorry for me because God has definitely been good to me, and God has covered me, and God has blessed me. Um, I'm dealing with my own personal situation, and I brought to that openly to say this: that it's okay. We don't have to allow depression to be the cuss word that we was taught that it was. And I want to say this to my African American community. My bishop said something I didn't get a chance to highlight, or I don't know if I did bring it back up, but I'm gonna bring it back up. He said he remember when his mother talked to him about depression when he was young. She said that black people don't know that they were depressed until they told us. They know how to address it. And the reality of it is, we did not know how to address depression. Like one thing, if you was in church, you over spiritualized it. Number two, we say it was a white people thing. Well, only white folks get depressed. Only white people commit suicide. So everything became a white thing. And the truth of the matter is, our grandparents dealt with depression in a different way. Like we wonder why we had alcoholism. We wonder why that granddaddy he smoked the devil's lettuce. You get what I'm saying?
Not the
He
devil's
smoked the
lettuce.
devil's lettuce. Huh?
I said, not the devil's lettuce.
The devil lettuce. The devil lettuce. He was trying to deal with his trauma. He was trying to
Mm-hmm.
deal with his experience. And the hardest thing for me, and I come to realization that it's okay to talk about it, whether people accept what you're dealing with, like, look, I'm just not feeling it. And I remember once I got the answer to my problem, and I was like, oh, thank God for the answer. My mom went back, Joe. Y'all, she's online. I guess she came to cover for our friend. Say, hey, Joe.
I'm back home. Hey.
So I my mind went back. I said, "Yo, I experienced this before. I didn't know. I didn't know it was depression." Okay, so everybody know I'm a big guy now, and I remember when I found out my mom was dealing with some illness. I came to see her, and she looked at me. She didn't see me in months, and she was like, "Are you okay?" Like, "Yeah, I'm fine, mom." I said, "Why you ask that?" She said, "You have gained a whole nother person." She said, "This is not you. What's going on?" "Oh, mom, I'm just working.
Mm.
I'm just working. That's it. I work all the time. This going on, so I'm just working." She's like, "Are you sure?" Like, "Yeah, yeah." I didn't think I was dealing with depression because to me, depression was you you in a dark room,
Cover.
covered, yeah,
Sleep.
you want to talk to nobody and sleep. I would sleep after I ate real good.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
After I ate real good, I would sleep and I would get up and start my day over again. Yes, Quinn, the devil's lettuce. You never heard of devil's lettuce?
My God. I don't know. Queen, I don't know that either. I don't know what we talking about here. The
Look,
devil's
y'all, I
lettuce.
think, I'm tell y'all something. So I have a plethora of friends from different
That's what it
cultures.
is, baby. It's one of them different. Okay.
Okay, Kelly said praying with someone is the best. Too many times we say, I'm going to pray for you, and then for whatever reason we don't. But the person needs to know that they are important right then, not at others' convenience. They need to know that they are loved, important, and worthy when they ask for prayer. Absolutely.
I love
Ab-
that, Kelly, because we do that all the time. You know, I really been prompted to when somebody said, if you don't mind, can you pray for me? I pray right then. I don't wait till we get off the phone. Let's hit it right now. Let's go on and pray because you never know when whatever word that comes out of your mouth changes the
Mhm.
trajectory. And I'm just thinking about Twitch. What if somebody had came into his space right before and really encouraged him? And it's not enough to just, oh yeah, that's my friend Tab, that's my brother Darnell, and still not be aware of the person. Like you could be
Right,
around people, but you not pay attention. So my brother called me nosy, but at the end of the day, I pay attention to my people and I make sure, you know what I'm saying? I know when something different. It might be a sleight of hand, but that's how the enemy works. Those subtle innuendos will change your whole entire life. And you think, oh, that's just a little something. But that
right,
little something can cause you to go into a whole space and downward spiral. And it was just a little something. So you can't count anything little. And a high functioning depressional person is a real thing. Like they can smile and they can TTT because they know. And this is one of the issues that me and my brother were talking about how church people were not allowed to tell the truth about mentally where they were. They just put on this church face and they put on the good clothes and got a good shout in, but then they went home defeated, beat up, and all kind of stuff. That's why people can be in the middle of domestic violence and then come to church and be the highest tithe payers, and you never know anything and nobody asks no
right,
questions because they paying their money.
right, right. Exactly. We teach people how to be hypocrites. They may be living what they know what the Bible says, but they learn how to be fake. And I realize that that is not necessarily a church thing, but that's a
Yeah,
people thing.
it
And so
is.
people bring that into context of their religious experience. So here we are, we learn how to cover, how to put on the show, and
Fake it
act
till you
like we
make
got
it. That's
to
what they used to
fake
say.
it till we make it. That's it. That's
Hmm.
it.
And then they use scripture. You gotta believe those things be not as though they were. If it be my eye black, I can't pretend that it ain't.
Yes, you can. By faith.
Makeup. I'm gonna
By
pull a
faith.
I'm gonna pull a Tina Turner. I got to get my makeup on. And she was fixing them eyebrows as she was zooted because baby, she took all them pills. And he had the nerve to say, I kill you if you die. Now how
I kill
crazy
you
is
if you
that?
die.
I kill you if you die.
I kill you if
But
you die.
that's what we're saying to people when we're asking them not to tell the truth about their mental health. I'll kill you if you die.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? No, we can't do that. We have to say it's okay to tell the truth, but what we have to do is teach them not to wallow and live in that space. This is a temporary space. Let's
And
see what the solution is to get out of this space.
and that's the reason why this conversation had to be had because many people don't realize that there's a door that's there. And that's why we presented this conversation. And there may be somebody out there that's listening to us who are high functioning, depressive person, such as myself and many others. And there may be somebody out there who's under the covers and they in the dark room with the blinds pulled down. Whatever spectrum that you're on, there is a door that you can exit out of. You don't have to stay there, like for real.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, whether you keep moving or you're not moving, you still hear no voices that's in your head.
Jesus.
You hear everything you didn't do right, everything that's not going right, and then you like, oh dang, I can't believe I allowed myself to do that. Why did I do that? How did I let Jonisha in my life? How did I let Tab in my life? And they just mess me over. Why I'm always falling for the same stuff? Why I'm always doing this? Why I'm always putting this hamburger in my mouth? No, I just got through eating this fried chicken just 20 minutes ago. Why I keep doing this? Why I keep doing that? What is my problem? I realize is I got a problem, but I don't know how to address the problem because there's no problem that I feel like I got to address, and I feel like nobody can understand me because I don't
Mm-hmm.
feel like I'm weak.
Yeah. Yeah. It's something the way you cope with depression, because I remember at a space when I was depressed, because I was the life of the party, the jovial person in front of people. Nobody knew at night that I was driving to three different places to get something from each place to eat, and then go to Cher's house and eat their dinner like I never ate anything. But that was my way of coping. And I would eat until I fell asleep because that was my peace.
Yeah,
That's a
I know.
that's
I know. Let me tell you something, and I talk openly about this. Now, and I'm not saying this to glorify anything. What I'm about to say,
mm-hmm,
two things became that I felt peace in. That was having sex and eating. Now I put sex
mm-hmm.
first as the first thing I wanted to do, but food was the second one.
Yeah.
So I use those things to make me feel good, um, because like I'm gonna read this list of 10 things to watch out for depression or what the signs are. One of the things was numbness,
Oh, that was the
and
point of
so
food. Because if you ate till you was numb, baby, you had to worry about nothing.
I ate till I felt something. As long as I felt that tightness, I knew that, I remember pinching myself because it felt like I was having a out of body experience at times. So it felt like I was watching, how you watch a movie and
Yeah,
you see
you
going
outside. I
up.
call it being outside of yourself,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
baby. That may be in your blood pressure. Cause when my blood pressure was raised, I feel outside myself. Like
Oh
I
no,
just don't feel right.
I was skinty then, but didn't realize what was going on. Okay. Tab's gonna join us through her laptop, but she don't have a camera. That's fine. Um, we can add you in. Can you hear us, Tab?
I can hear you guys loud and clear.
Okay, cool. We can add you through your voice, as the country folks say, voice. We got you. We got you. Um, and so like sex would make me feel alive, and food would make me feel alive.
Hmm.
Sex and food would make me feel alive. So when I was dealing with my depressive moments, and before I decided, I'm just going. First of all, I was working a lot, so then I found myself, eating, and I would eat something stuffed, and I would fall asleep. And I never forget when I woke up. Now it feels good when you wake up. Now it
Okay.
feels good, but at the same time, it's like, dang, I've been asleep that long. And I remember I got up to a size 54 in pants and a size 5X. And I looked in the mirror the first time and really looked in the mirror, and I was like, what the heck was you doing?
Cause you don't realize you. I didn't realize I was that big until somebody took a picture of me.
I stayed away from pictures,
Yep.
from cameras. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that season for me. Do not take a picture of me. Do not post it, anything. Because you live in this false reality, right? As long as it's comfortable in your own space and nobody interrupts it and brings it to your attention, you can function. But as soon as they bring it to your attention, now you got to do something about it. Now you don't like it, right? Now you're
Yeah.
uncomfortable. Now you're angry.
I'm
I
glad you said
remember
that.
I
That false
remember
reality. That
I
false.
remember Cheryl was like, "Hey, let's go work out," or Jonisha would say stuff in a sly way. you know, she was like, "Isn't that a whole chicken?"
Was that fly? That didn't sound fly to me.
You gotta hear how Joe say stuff sometimes. It's not really like um a
He's
tone. It's really soft and subtle.
mhm.
I be
He
trying
like
not to
that
make folks
whisper.
feel
She
guilty. I
like
be
that
like,
whisper. Like,
"Did-
so that is a whole chicken, right? Like,
is
just
that a
asking for
whole?
the people in the back.
Is, is that a whole chicken? Like two breasts, two wings,
Two breasts,
two
two
legs?
wings, two
So I heard
thighs, two legs.
so
Did you eat
So,
two quarter legs?"
mhm.
So she didn't express to me like until like I had developed a habit of being at the gym. I had lost by 60 some odd pounds. And she was like, "Yeah, I was worried about you because I remember the time you was at my house and you ate the whole chicken." I said,
Baby,
"What?" She said, "You
baby.
ate the whole chicken." I said, "I did." She said, "Yeah, you said that ate the whole. You had two breasts, two wings,
Yeah.
two thighs, and two legs."
Cause me and my brother have experienced. It's like, have you ever been around somebody that mirrored you, and then you realize by looking at them, like, oh my God. And my brother know particularly who I'm talking about. And I told him, I said, sir, this is a Bobby and Whitney situation. I can't be around this person. We gonna kill each other sitting up in here eating. Like, watching that person eat made me sick. And I realized, Joe, the only difference between you and them is that you do it by yourself in your car. You drive and hide. That's the only difference between you and them. They're just open enough to do it right here in front of everybody.
Yeah.
And so those are the things that we need to make sure that you're not hiding in these mental states, because one of my escapes was make believe. I've been doing it ever since I was little, and it's my adulthood. It started out as a make believe friend, but then in my adulthood, and this just being straight, honest, and transparent. Y'all know how we do it on this show. It went into imaginations and eased into masturbations, pretending that I was in a space, or I was in a headspace that I wanted to be in, when really, truly, I was not. I was escaping because I didn't want to deal. Something Tab said earlier about why we just don't ask these questions, and you don't want to ask the questions because you don't know what the answer is going to be, and you're scared about what your answer really is, truly
Yep.
what your answer is, because you have to deal with those things when they come up.
Mhm.
That's why I had
Sometimes.
a problem with people like Cheryl Yaka Carter, because she's the question answer. She always say she's the devil's advocate. That's what she likes. Now I'm just gonna play the devil advocate, but what if da 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 da? And that used to make me mad, because who want to think about the opposite? But you need that.
Yeah, you do. You do. You definitely need that. Before we go into the conversation, listen, we want you all to stay on here. We're giving away a gift card of $25, so please stay on here, okay?
Merry
Um,
Christmas.
yeah,
Merry,
this is this
Merry
is this is
Christmas.
this is a Christmas gift to you all. So I just want to read something before we move on. It's on Cope Better Therapy website. It's if you want to check it out, it's COPBETTER.com. Let's talk about top signs of depression. Okay, so one of them is physical pain. That's one, and it says when we usually consider depression, we usually consider to be a mental a lot ailment, but
Mm-hmm.
there's also physical side effects of that too: headaches, back pain, fatigue, neck pain, all associated with depression.
Ooh.
Sometimes you say you go to the doctor and like my heart keep palpitating, and the doctor's like, okay, we don't check your heart like 5 million times. There's nothing. There's no blockage. I think you need to look into some other thing. Um, Headaches. You're always tired. Neck pains. I think you need to look into like, hey, what if? Not saying it is, but what if? It's not gonna hurt to look into it. Number two, weight gain, overeating, and under exercising are two very common signs of depression.
Mm-hmm.
You might not even realize this is happening until you have gained significant amount of weight. So number two is weight gain. Number three, this was me when I look back at it. It's very easy to make you grouchy. Um, Sometimes it's like they ask you, "How you doing today?" "I'm fine." No, I don't say it like that, but it's just that simple. That simple. While you may not see depression and anger as being connected, many people who are experiencing depression will also see their other emotions heightened.
Mm-hmm.
Number
Mm-hmm.
four.
Yeah, that is a real that one right there.
Hmm.
Yeah, everything else is I'm good until you hit that button. Everything else is a mess.
Yeah.
You know,
Number
super
four. Remember I was
emotional.
talking about the numbness. Yeah. Number four. You don't feel anything at all.
Uh-oh.
Sound familiar?
That's that I don't care.
Yep. Physically too. Um, I told you, like, me pinch myself to see if I was alive. And
Cheryl
me
said earlier, that's where she was at, just but we had the um when we had the person on for the mental health, she had everybody. We need to post that again, the link for that book. I got that
yeah.
book and started reading about the trapped emotions, how you
Mhm.
will have different body pains and ailments, and you be taking these pills for years and they're not doing anything because actually it's trapped emotion and trauma that you never dealt with that has went into your. Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you, I I heard it, read about it. I got angry the other week and my knees pained me like they have it hadn't I hadn't had this much knee pain in a minute, but to the point where I could barely walk. And I said, "Oh my God." Because I didn't, lash out with my anger. I sort of kept it in because I was like, I'm gonna stay calm, tell you what I'm going. But on the inside, I was on fire and my knees was on fire. Baby, I had to get somebody to help me off stage. I had danced the whole show, got mad at the end, and my knees started hurting like tremendously bad. And until I got in the space where I, released it unto God and truly released it, my knees stopped hurting. I was able to function again. And so it's amazing
Mhm.
how y'all, we need to find that. We need to find that thing to that's a really, really good book to talk about trapped emotions.
Matter of fact, I just started. I had ordered all them books. I think she listed about 4 or 5 books. I had ordered every last one of them, and I'm reading that book right now.
Wow. Yeah, y'all definitely need to post that. Do you
Yeah.
remember? I think it might have been, it might be 2 weeks now. There was a situation that happened, and I had gotten so angry, and I can't even describe the anger that I felt, and I didn't know where to put it. I had nowhere for it to go, and I found myself still having to go to work, still having to process day to day and be cordial, but all I wanted to do was sleep. Like I was at work falling asleep. My head was hurting so bad. I thought I had a coffee deficiency, but
Yes.
that was not the case. I was so angry. I was sad and angry all at the same time, but I did not have time to process it. And by me not having time to process, I still had to do my everyday thing. So it started to affect my body. Like I was just, why am I so tired? I just want to sleep. I guess I guess my body was telling me that it's too much trauma. You
Mhm.
can't hold the weight of what you do every day in this. So something's going to have to give, you know,
Absolutely.
either you're going to lay down or not, or you're going to deal with this or not. So I feel like my body was saying, you ain't going to deal with it. So you need to lay down, you know.
But see, you brought that to my attention. I did not know um, that your body does that. Like, once it has been overloaded with trauma, it just shuts down, like, "Go to sleep."
Gotta go lay down.
If you ever think about it, you know how like when people get in bad car accidents or they're really really sick, and they put people in comas so
Yeah.
that the body can heal itself because it was too much trauma to the body.
Mm,
So they have to
Got
put
it.
you to sleep so your mind's not like nothing's moving, like it's just silent, so that it can heal itself and recuperate. Regenerate.
baby,
Excuse me.
baby. So what she's saying is if your body start hollering, go lay down. That means you need to go somewhere sit
Go
down.
lay down.
Go
Because
lay.
Okay.
it will lay you down. It will lay.
It will make you lay down. You
Mhm.
lay down beside the still dear waters, baby.
You
Psalms
gonna
2
lay down
and 3.
then,
Yep.
or
He
you gonna
making
lay
you lie
down when you
down. That's
drive?
what the body doing. It's making you lie down. And not in green pastures wherever you laying. So don't make the Lord make you lie down. Just lay down by yourself.
Go ahead
Okay.
Yep.
and take that nap.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Number 4. Number 4, you don't feel anything at all, and I'm about to read this whole one because I think, and this number 5 is gonna kinda go with what Tabitha just said. You don't feel anything at all. When most people think of depression, they think of an overwhelming sadness, and while that part can be part of the equation, many people simply feel nothing at all. They don't have any motivation to do anything, even things that they previously loved to do. They
Wow.
don't want to
Wow.
socialize, they don't want to exercise, and don't wanna get out of bed. And while they may not feel particularly sad, they just feel completely void of emotion.
Ooh.
that hit a button right there. I just
Hmm.
I I'm laughing, you guys, because I literally just had this conversation with Joe. Someone was asking me how I felt about. I said I don't have any feeling. I don't feel anything, good, bad, or indifferent. It's just not in my bubble. Like, so I'm not dealing with it at all. I'm just not. So wow, that is interesting. I need to.
You know what my saying is when I'm feeling that way? When people ask me a question,
What
I
is it?
said I'm decent.
Decent. What does that mean to you when you say that? What does that look like?
When I say I'm decent, to me, that is saying that I'm not bad.
Bad.
I'm just
Yep.
here.
Yep.
I'm
Mm,
just here. That's what it means to me. I'm just here.
And that explains a lot. Um, and maybe that's my position in this moment in time dealing with my exercise because I get a lot of people online that say, I don't know what's wrong with me. I just can't.
Hmm.
mhm.
I can't exercise. I can't. I try to eat right, and it's just like I can't. I just can't. And I'm constantly talking to people like, just do it one time. Make one decision to do it one time and get your ball rolling. Because once the issue is getting the ball rolling, once you get the ball rolling, gravity will take its course.
That's true.
Now, if y'all don't believe it, y'all go look at my video where I rode down the hill. I couldn't stop myself because gravity took its course, and I was scared, y'all.
Rolling,
I thought I
rolling,
wasn't gonna
I
rolling,
stop,
saw that video. I said, "Ooh,
rolling, 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 roll high.
baby.
who
Gravity
pushed
took
you
that
by the
stomach
way?"
and it just pulled me. So I'm telling you, make that one conscious decision to do something different. And believe it or not, that stuff brings you out of depression when you decide, because it's lunatic to think that something's going to change in your life and you do the same thing over and over. That makes depression deeper.
Yep.
So change up your scenery. I'm telling you, it's as easy as maybe you laying in your bed, you feel some type of way, get up and go to your living room.
Yes.
Yep.
Open up a window.
My pastor has this thing. He said almost every Sunday religiously. He says, if you're dancing on your right leg, start dancing on your left leg. Sliding to the left, start sliding to the right. And the whole notion is do something different. Do something that you've never done before. Like you get in a routine over and over again, you find yourself like, in a depressive state because you keep doing the same thing and thinking that it's gonna give me a different result. Do something different. That way you can have a different result. Number 5, you are constantly distracting yourself.
Ooh,
I'm good
You
at
are
that.
I am the queen
y'all
of
see my
that.
face. See my face. Ah, y'all, this is really digging deep.
Yes.
I need to go find somebody couch.
Right.
You are completely glued to your computer or to your television.
Oh,
You do
damn.
not want to just sit there and be alone with yourself for any space of time. You might feel compelled to go online and surf without any real purpose or point. Many people who feel depressed would try to escape into a virtual world.
Can you imagine how many people are depressed just based on number five, guys?
Just watching TV all day long.
I
Baby, you know
mean,
I binge watch.
you know what, Joe? You touched on something. I wanted to add to that. So, I think that we make it big, right? So we find ourselves in this big depression, in this down in this deep rabbit hole, and we're looking at. It's kind of like we're walking down the street. You walking down the street, a regular sized street, and you fall into a hole, right? There was already people walking past you. You fall in this ditch, and what happens is you go, "Oh my God, how did I get in this hole?" And instead of trying to climb out, you sit there because you're upset because you don't understand how you fell in the hole. How could I
Yeah.
let this happen? We sit in the space of woe is me, I shouldn't have let this happen. So we stay down there when what we need to do is get up, get out of the hole, and as we begin to walk, say, okay, I didn't look down, so let me look down this time. But we stay in that space because we feel bad because we weren't paying attention. We feel
Yeah.
bad because we should have did something different instead of just doing something different, and we make the hole bigger than it is. So like Joe was saying, like, change your environment. It's almost like don't focus on how big it is, right? One thing at a time, one step at a time. right? Because it's never the right thing to it's never the right time to do anything, but it's always the wrong time to do nothing.
Ooh.
So if we can just
Cash
do
out.
something, huh?
Cash out.
Look,
No,
give her a hand clap. She deserve a hand clap for that one, baby.
but you know what I mean?
Baby.
We just need to do something, right? And we want the something to be so big to pull us out of all of it. And that's not going to happen. It's not the reality. We didn't just fall in it one day, it was over time. We created
Yeah.
a pattern of this depression. We created a pattern of sitting in front of the TV and eating and, having sex and doing all these things to cope with the pain. So we're not going to fix it overnight. But if I do one thing every day, if I come in every day and I put my shoes on the left side of the bed, when I come in tomorrow, I'm gonna put them on the right side. When I come in, when I go to work, I'm gonna move my cup. It's the little things creating brand new habits for where you are, and then you'll look up and you won't be the same. You will
Yeah.
have done the work, and then you'll be in a mental space to deal with why you fell in the hole because now you're moving,
That's
right?
it. That's it.
Well, let's talk about why is it easy to practice the bad thing, but
Mm.
hard to start a new habit of a good thing? Because just think about it. It takes 21 days of repetitive something to make a habit of something. And we'll do something our whole entire life. And then when it's time to do something new, to be consistent and to be better, it feels like it's the hardest thing to start a new practice or a new habit or something, especially if it's bad for you, baby. The Bible says, when I would do good, evil was always present. You can do that.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
can do that. But when it's something good for you,
Mm-hmm.
baby, you can go all day without not eating, not even think, did I eat today? Did I let somebody call a fast?
Okay.
Baby, you
Ooh-wee.
Hello,
Ooh-wee.
everybody. Oh Lord, Jesus.
baby, just
Look,
crunching on chips for no reason. I just want to
look,
thank
look. Then you
Isn't
start
the
talking about,
question
I'm a
like
diabetical. I'm a diabetical. I gotta,
what they call it?
I gotta find me.
Sugars?
her. Won't we use
We
it?
got the
Where
sugar.
my friend at? I ain't
I'm
gonna
a
need to call, I ain't gonna
diabetical.
need to call my friend now, baby. But baby, I used to love her because she'll pull that. I got diabetes. Don't do that. You just want it. Don't do that.
But you know something? Let me say this. It's kind of like you got that old mattress that you don't build the groove into it,
Yes, Lord.
Baby, that
and
ain't no groove, baby. Them springs is broke.
but those springs are broke. But
It's your
you found
comfort
the
though.
comfortable spot between those two broken springs, and you lay,
Right.
you get in
That
the
broke
bed, you find
in.
yourself falling right back in that space, and so you
Mhm.
realize you need to get a new mattress. So you finally get a new mattress, and you complain about the mattress. This mattress is so uncomfortable, and this whatever, and all that type of stuff. And the truth of the matter is, for years you got used to, like she hit on it earlier. You got used to that mold. You got used to that trauma, and that trauma has become your identity. So
Mm.
some habits has became a part of you, and now you got to work against what you felt like was you to create a new you, and it become harder because we are people of habits. Once
Yes.
this habit has set in, and we've been doing for 25 years, and somebody else present to count out that negative habit with a positive habit, we find ourselves stuck and we fight against it. Like, and it's just human nature. Like we fight against that which is good for us because we so used to doing what we've been doing.
Which poses a question. Who is
Who is
So
what?
Because
I was
who
just
is I mean, I'm tell you why I said who is
Who's I?
If what you identify as
about
yourself
to say that. Come on.
was taken away today,
Hmm.
who would you be?
Who am
That's a
I
So
good question.
if I have who am I if I have nothing to complain about? Who am I if I have no pains and aches? Who am I and what level of accountability am I called to? Who
mm-hmm.
and am I afraid of that person? Now I have
Mm-hmm.
no choice but to be great and walk in my greatness.
Hmm.
I need
Absolutely.
somebody to put
Fear
that in.
of
Who is
the
I know it don't
who
make no sense. Put that in the comment section. Who is because that's something you need to think about.
is
Whatever you put your value in. I was talking to somebody the other day. that would really put a value in. They made the comment, it's like Steve Urkel to Stefan syndrome.
That
As
was you
long
and
as
I talking
I'm
about that.
Stefan,
You and I
everybody
was talking about
likes
that.
it.
Yeah.
I'm
Everybody's okay with it. But soon as Urkel show up, I get on so many. There it is. Who is I'm? That's it. When I become Urkel, I bother people so bad till I figure they rather deal with Stefan. So I stay in Stefan mode, but then I get angry because I'm not really Stefan. I'm Steve Urkel.
I'm
mm.
Steve Urkel. But guess what? Stefan is part of who I am. I always had that suaveness. You just didn't see it.
But see, Steve Urkel is who we want because they're the most genuine and pure. Stefan is because if you remember, come on back to Family Matters.
I
If
remember
you
she got on
remember,
everybody's nerves.
after a minute, Laura got sick of Stefan because all he talked about was how pretty he was and
Hmm.
what he did next. It was no more of that, and it made her remember the genuineness of Steve Urkel want to know how Laura was doing. And I think that's what we deal with a lot, even in friends. You need to make sure as a friend that you deal with Steve Urkel and not
Yep.
Stefan. Because if my whole thing with Tab is dealing with the Stefan and Tab, what she can do, what she presents, and I never ask her about the Urkel inside of her,
Yeah.
how she's really doing
Hmm.
mentally, how she's doing in her heart, how she's doing in her emotion, physically. How are you dealing with
Right.
issues and trials in your life? If I never deal with Steve Urkel, Stefan's gonna take over and Steve Urkel gonna kill Stefan. And that's what happens with a lot of people. The real them is sick and tired of playing this monogamy and they kill out Stefan and they end up just committing suicide.
Yep.
Wow.
I'm just gonna
You
go. Go ahead. Go ahead.
you go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead. Because you sound like you say something real good. Go
No,
ahead.
I was getting ready to say that really you really hit that, Joe, because for me, and I'm gonna just be real transparent. I have always I was just telling Darnell this the other day. So for me, I have always been an asset to people. So a lot of people wouldn't tell me the truth about myself. They wouldn't be honest with me because I'm a benefit. I'm a benefit and not a liability. So it got to the
Mm,
point to where I would test people. I would do things just to see if they were going to be honest or say something about my behavior so that I would know who are they here for? Are you here for what I can provide for you or how I can help you move your career, your business along? Or are you here for me as a person? Because
Mm,
everybody loves the idea of you, but not the responsibility of you.
mm.
that's true.
So I had that bad. It was always, oh, you can do this and you can do that. And nobody asked me, how are you? Are you okay
Right.
today? And if they did, it wasn't really, they didn't really want to know. It was just, let's get to the next thing. Oh, you
A
good? Okay, yeah,
conversation
yeah.
piece
So
to
here's what I
push.
need.
Yeah.
Right?
They were just wondering, are you fine so you can take care of my business?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number six. Number six, making decisions is extremely difficult. Number
Mm.
seven, you stop taking care of yourself. Personal hygiene and depression are linked. You don't brush your teeth, you don't comb your hair, you don't shower unless you have to. You don't even change your clothes.
Baby, and we'll wait until you smell yourself to do that.
And some
Don't
people
do
can't even
that.
smell themselves. They're so used to it. So
Oh, God.
they so used to it.
Don't
Oh,
get used to that.
I don't smell that musky. That's just you.
It's
Yeah.
just a little, it's just a little smoke, a little
Just
But
twinge.
if you
a
think
little
about it,
twang.
if you sitting in your house with yourself all the time, you don't smell nothing but the air you breathe. And it's
Oh,
not good to you because you ain't been outside.
baby, you better walk. But I would do that in a minute when I clean my house, just to figure out if I can smell the cleanness. I will walk outside and come back in, baby. You better walk
You
outside.
gotta do it.
That's
That
like me
that
and
will
my vacuum
preach.
line.
That
That's
will preach. I'm sorry, y'all. We been in church for a minute. And that will preach. Sometimes you have to find yourself in a different environment to see it for what it is.
Just said,
All
now
right.
you stink sugar.
Yeah. Nah, you thanks, sugar. It's difficult to sleep. Not being able to sleep can contribute to depression, and being depressed can make it difficult to sleep.
Now you know me.
And you know me too.
I be up all night.
You always been that way. You can sleep all day and be up all night. You usually hate when I give the morning. Good morning, Joe. How you doing?
Shut up.
She is not a morning person at not even in her pinky toe. Okay. She was so annoyed at me when remember he was at my I was like, "Good morning, John." She was like, she looked at me like, "I know this is your house, but I need you to leave. If you could just
We was yeah, we would live it together. So she was trying to deal with it. She was trying to deal
All
with
the
it.
people testifying on me, people. Y'all hear this?
I can't see no comments, but go on tell the truth.
Cheryl said she mean in the morning.
Very. And it is not all right. Okay.
So, so she dealt with it. At first, it was like, "Hey Joe, good morning." She's like, "Good morning." So then the next day, "Hey Joe, good morning." Good morning. Third time, "Hey Joe, good morning." Silence.
It wasn't
I
good because you
I
was
said, "Joe,
talking.
good morning." Good morning. The next time, I'm getting ready for work. "Hey Joe, good morning." Just shut up.
I mean, I'm a little better because I have to be, because work causes me to be morning. It's still not early. It's mid morning. It's like 9:30. My brother want to get up at 6 a.m. and 7. Good morning.
Sorry, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
She held us
Uh,
together a little bit at my house, but that second day, let me tell y'all what happened, okay? That first day, I feel like she felt like she was a guest still. You know what I mean? Like, oh
yep.
hey, she was like, "Good morning," and I was like, "You good? You home? You need anything?" Blah blah blah. And she's like, "I'm fine." Okay. That second day, I got up. Good morning. She looked at me as though, "Why are you talking to me? Why are you not laying down? Wasn't your door closed? What's going on?" Someone like I was like, "Oh." Okay, so you're not hungry. You don't want me to open a window. You don't want me to. No, no sunlight. Okay, all right.
No sun till about 11, 12.
Yeah, she was not having it, y'all. And I
See, that's the reason
was I'm
why.
super in the morning, like, hey,
That baby whistling with the birds and
exactly.
coffee and what's that bowl? Acai bowls and
I
stuff
I
like
saw
that.
you. So Tab, so we was talking about our business, and so when I first started, I wanted to do the radio. Jonisha like, I'm gonna do podcasting, and cause podcasting. After a while, I started loving doing the podcasting. Joe like, you know what? No, I'm a night owl. I think it'll be best if I do the midnight train, the Georgia part,
Come
Oh,
on.
because I don't like getting up early in the morning. So when the business really kick off, she said I'm gonna work at night.
Yes, I am.
she that too. She ain't talking to nobody in the morning. That's for sure.
So number 9, it is difficult to concentrate. No matter how hard you try, you cannot concentrate on what you need to concentrate on. You might you might be distracted by negative thoughts, or you might just find that no matter how hard you try, you cannot get your brain to focus.
That is so
Mm.
true, y'all. That is so true. I used to think something was wrong with me. I promise you, I used to think something was wrong.
I told my doctor, I said, I think I have ADHD, which I do believe I do. Because Joe said something the other day. She said, "Brother," she said, "I see your ADHD."
Your
I'm
slip is
talking to
handed.
him, and he started to hold up conversation. I'm like,
My mind already left that conversation. Like, I'm
He got what
done.
he needed out of there and left you there, Joe.
yeah,
Yeah, I
I'm
left her there.
still.
I had to go back and pick her up. She said, "Why are you talking about this?" I said, "Oh," I said, "That's connected to what." She was still at that point, but I had moved on, and so
Baby,
I had to
I
I
came
had
to
to leave her
visit
alone.
Tennessee, and baby, he left me.
Because
Yeah,
he
I was
wasn't present. He was only present for that moment, what he had to say, and then he had left. He came
yeah.
and chopped it off, and then
Yeah, I had to go back and get them, bring it to Missouri with me and say, "Oh, this is why we going to Missouri." Um, Number 10, you feeling anxious. You find yourself not just worrying about things that can happen, but things that probably would never happen. You can find yourself, you find that you are extremely anxious so much that sometimes you just hide in your home to avoid doing things you need or want to do because you would have to interact with people or do something about which you are feeling anxious. Mhm.
I think Minister Genuine said something like,
come on,
so
Kim.
anxious. Yeah, that's what he said.
Get him around
Yep.
11:30. I think that's.
Yeah, no, they don't do the rest of it though.
Okay. I'm not. We're gonna leave
Um,
it there.
so y'all please this is so funny. This is so funny. Not Minister Genuine. I'm sorry, my mind just went there. Y'all just
I mean,
and Joe
I
and
mean,
You
me
know, I
11:30.
believe the Lord speaks in
uh
different
huh.
ways, and I think, you know what I'm saying, we just don't be paying attention. Because if you think about, no, real talk, if you think about people like Amy Winehouse, that girl straight up said, my mama told me go to rehab, and I said, no, no, no. That was true. That was
Yeah,
true.
yeah,
And
yeah.
she
That was
ended up killing herself.
yeah.
So a lot of these times, just because they name ain't minister, or they be, if you listen to some of these songs, especially old school, now ain't this new school, baby, they just period period and they they got a whole song.
Yeah.
But the old school song, if you go back and listen to Pop prophesy his death, you know what I'm saying, some of this stuff, all this is coming out because we have got to be aware and pay attention.
We do, we do, and that's the thing. Like I said earlier, that's the reason why I brought this conversation to teach people how to be aware. And I use the theme depression, the cuss word, because we treat depression as if it's a cuss word. Ooh, that's a bad word. Don't you say that.
Mm,
Say that. And the thing of it is, a lot of time people be depressed for a long time before they even decide to end their lives. And I used to think that suicide um, was because people just selfish. It's because they really feel like there's no other option.
no way out, no
Yeah,
escape.
And
no escape.
you know what just came to me, and this is something I want to bring up to y'all. I have two nieces. One is 9 and one is 4, or 3, excuse me, 3.5. That's what she tells me. So, I just think I want to talk about. I don't want to switch gears, but we have to pay attention to these kids.
Yeah,
They were not raised like us, right? They were raised in a different time. And so when they are telling you that they are sad or they are uncomfortable or they don't like something we have to learn not to inflict our own what happened to us as a kid. Shut up and sit down, go drink some water, go to sleep. Don't, not allowing your kids to express themselves and their emotions, because you have to think they ain't been on this earth as long as we have. We've had time to figure out how to cope. And
we
if
do it.
we are not
We do.
teaching these kids how to cope and they just having to shut up, that's how things come about. If we're not allowing them to express themselves and say how they feel and help them work through it instead of just silencing them, we'll find ourselves in a situation where these babies are killing themselves. Are they being bullied at school? They can't come talk to you because you don't want to hear nothing about it because your
Mhm.
date was just too much, right? And
Right.
we have to we have to pay attention. It should not be too much for the child that you birth or the one that you've taken care of for you to listen, for you to intently listen. And a lot of times I remember my mom used to be like, what you got to be stressed out about? I pay the bills, I put food on the table, you ain't got no job. What are you worried about? What are you stressed out about? I had a lot. I had a lot I couldn't talk about. I had a lot. I hadn't been on this earth a long time, but I had experienced a whole bunch and nobody was listening. And I
Mm,
dealt with wanting to commit suicide and wanting to take my life because no one was listening. No one wanted to hear what I had to say. And I was hurting so bad that I just didn't feel like I needed to be here, you know?
Yeah.
And so I just want to implore everybody, listen to your kids, how young they are. If they are crying, don't just put your hands on them. If they're fussing, sit down and talk to them. Talk to me. Why do you feel this way? Get them to calm down so that you can hear them. And then go back and do the work like recon. Okay, we talked about this yesterday. So how do you feel today? What did you do today? Did that make you happy? Why, you gotta, that's your kid. Like, you gotta investigate those things if you care.
Right.
You can't leave it up to the school system. They bringing them in and bringing them out.
Right.
So
yeah.
Right. It absolutely. And I think oftentimes we repeat those cycles because that's what their parents said to them.
yeah.
And we got all this hidden trauma, that's inside of us. And had a conversation with a friend of mine. We talking about male emotions and female emotions. And I said, he's like, females just emotional. I'm like, yo, so we are too. We just have different ways of expressing our emotions. And sometimes, man, we more bipolar than what we accuse the women of being.
Child, y'all cycle be something different.
Mine, what, like, for
Come on,
real?
full like Wednesday through Sunday, child.
Yeah, man, y'all come on once a month, man. There are some months where, look, I have learned when I'm feeling some type of way to let people know, look, I'm not feeling it. Now, sometimes I'm not as good as to say that, and that's because I'm struggling with me putting up the image like I got it together. Okay, so but there are moments I have to say, okay, I'm irritated. I just need some time. Need some time. So, um, our parents pushed their trauma off on us, and we was already dealing with our trauma, what we was dealing with, and they tell us to shut up because they was told to shut up. Like we didn't matter. Like you didn't have no problems. I pay all the bills. I do this. I do this. But the reality is, they're dealing with a whole lot, and because it's a molehill to us, does not mean it's to them. You never belittle like their emotions at all. Matter of
Yeah.
fact, I should never belittle Joe's emotions or Tabitha's emotion because they are valid to y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And to say they're not real and legit is not cool. And that's something I had to learn. Now I talk about this a lot with my daughter. I had to go to her and say, "Hey, look, I apologize. There's some times where I didn't handle things correctly, and I'm asking you to forgive me." I said, "But my heart was in the right place, but my actions wasn't."
Yeah. I think
And
somebody had said something down in the chat in regards to what if the parent wants to do the work. And I think where that starts at is you have to say to yourself, I am going to get out of my own way to help my child. So it's okay if I don't have the answers. It's okay if this conversation I'm having with them makes me uncomfortable because I don't know what to say, but I'm going to go get my kid the help that they need. I'm not going to, it's not about me. It's not about I didn't get, you know what I mean? Like you didn't get the therapy, but maybe I need to take my kid to talk to somebody that can help them work through their emotions and probably help you work through yours and help
Mm-hmm.
you guys communicate better. Like there's nothing wrong with that. We have to do what we have to do to save
yep,
our kids, to save ourselves, to get out of these cycles that just go round and round where we don't talk, we
yep.
don't communicate, and we're supposed to just hold it in. I think somebody said the other day, a friend of mine, I got so mad because a friend of mine was like, "You are just so strong. Like, you just handle everything." That is not what I want to be. No, I do not want to do that. I want to have feelings. I want to be able to express myself. It's not a badge of honor. Yeah, okay, I'm strong, but at what cost? My mental
Mm,
sanity, emotional depression, at what cost? No, I want to be free. I don't want to be holding everything without the work, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yep,
And let
yeah,
me encourage those too that perhaps aren't parents, but you are um, around children that you see are hurting, because we do have to realize that some parents are still children themselves, and
Yeah.
that's just honest. And their children raising children, so it's like two kids trying to help each other grow up. If you are mature enough to handle it in such a way, be that committee of one, be that mentor that that child can talk to,
right,
and give them, good instruction, nothing that's coming against the parents, but literally give them that space where they can talk and have some kind of space. Because I used to be like, well, that ain't my child now. And once I finally opened up to where I was okay with kids coming to me, it's like the floodgates open. I looked around, there were 14 kids in my house, because they need that space
they do, they
where
do.
they can be free to express themselves. And girls, they be like, Joe, you all right? Because them kids in my house was ranging from 6 months on up to like 14 years old. And they was doing
Mhm,
all kind of stuff. And the parents come in like, is you all right? Baby, I'm fine. They kids. I'm letting them express themselves, because they have to have a space where they're safe to express themselves without you judging what they're doing. Now, I'm not talking about, the difference, you know how to tame it, but even in that, when they're expressing themselves in such a way, ask them, why did you say that? And why did you do that? Don't shut them down in such a way to tell them they can't, because that may be the only way they know how to get that stuff out. So if
Yes.
you
right,
find a notebook that's got a couple cuss words in it, don't go to them like you're going to choke them out.
Yeah.
mhm,
Try to understand, okay, what did this release do for you and where did this come from?
right,
Hmm.
right. I used to have in my home. We used to call it no holds bar conversation. I stole it from Tawana, and so the whole thing about it was we're gonna sit there and have a real conversation. Now, only rule that I had was you couldn't cuss me out. That's the only rule. Now you can say whatever you want to say, as long as you ain't cussing me out. Now that's the only rule.
That's your
Because
trigger. That's your
uh,
trigger.
Right.
because I'm just saying, you know how adults, children should respect adults, whatever. And I respect, those my children, whatever. But like, just don't cuss me out, And so, tell me how you feel. Tell me what you think about me. And sometimes that's the hardest thing to do. Marlon said something to me the other day about me. At first, it stung, and I ain't said nothing to him that day. And so next day we was together and we was talking. I said, "Look, man," I said, hey, you're not a kid anymore." I said, "I won't approach you that way anymore." I said, "You said this about me." I said, "I'm gonna work on it. That way, I won't talk to you this kind of way." And when I found this out, when I approached him like that, you can see the change in his body. It's like he become relaxed. He has become more open. With Casey on the same way, like, and so because of that, like, I want you to have an open conversation with me because I didn't have that. Not that I didn't have a good mom. My mom was amazing. But she had this certain mentality about raising us and our place in her life and her place in our lives, which is fine. But I want to end certain cycles that where they won't repeat those cycles. Look, come and talk to me. I never forget. This has got nothing to do with the conversation, but I had a conversation with my daughter about sex, like a deep conversation with my son about sex, and both of them looked at me like I was crazy. But I wanted them to hear certain things from my mouth before they hear from out the street or from some of my crazy family members, you know. Um, but we got to find ourselves, allowing our children to be open and respecting their feelings and all of that. This has been a great, great conversation. We definitely want
Yeah,
to.
yeah. Because as you
There
were
you
saying
go.
that, what you just said right there, make sure as a son that you give that same space to your mom.
Mhm.
Because believe it or not, those people, I remember I had a conversation with my grandma and just asked her about, her childhood and stuff like that. And when I say the floodgates open about some things she ain't released out of her mouth ever about any, and it was amazing, but she could have been a high functioning parent trying to cope through, different situations.
Yeah,
So sometimes as a child, you got to step back, like not be so upset with your parent or how they raised you, but step back and give them the open space to dialogue about what were
their
their
child.
dreams, what would they hope, what they didn't accomplish, what kind of trauma they went through, and you would be real surprised about how your relationship with your parent changed. Because mine is completely changed.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. A couple years ago, I done that, and me and my mom had an argument, and after the argument, we had a heart to heart conversation, and she opened up to me about some things, and so that's how I began to understand her capacity. So when she moves a certain way, I find myself not as being so frustrated about it because her life experiences got her to this place, and this is her understanding of life, and because
Hmm.
of life, this became her reality. So it
Hmm.
doesn't have to be my reality and my responses, but it is what it is. So you're right. And sometimes we gotta remind ourselves that our parents had some traumas too. And thanks for bringing that back to my memory. So next time my mom, I feel like mama, and she was okay, she had a life. She experienced some things. Matter of fact, she's gonna be on our show next week. She's excited. We're gonna do a pre-recording because that's the holiday week, and she's super excited. So I gotta pick up in the morning. We're gonna have the conversation about how bad I was as a kid.
Yeah.
But
We can't wait to hear that.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So this, like I said, this has been definitely a good conversation. And we need y'all to hold on just a little while longer. We about to do our drawing. And we thank God for Joe for jumping in the middle. Tab, the best, man. When I tell y'all she's a pusher, she's a pusher. I see what Joe talking about. Joe like, darn it, this girl got me thinking all type of things. I
Same
promise
way
you this.
for both of y'all, though. Let me tell y'all, y'all have incited riots in my mind with things that y'all talk to me about, both of y'all. So it goes hand in hand for sure.
Yeah, my son don't jump in online.
He had to testify. Sure did that. Thanks.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, he sure did. I'm like, he's a man. And he has
Hey,
made some
Bishop.
Bishop. Okay, y'all, we about to do this drawing. Yeah, this been good conversation. Good. I want to say this. I want to say this. Those of you who feel like that you are facing depression or suicide, this is what I need you to do. Now, on the end of the show, we got this number, and I didn't make a thing for it, so it can pop down here. Um, that's a national suicide prevention line. It's 24/7. It's free that you can call at any time that you're in crisis. Okay, it's toll free. You can call where you're from without any charge. It's 1-800-273-8255. 1-800-273-8255. Yo, reach out. You don't have to in your life. There is a door. I don't care how dark it is. There's a light shining somewhere, and you got to focus on the light to come out that tunnel. I promise you. If
Come
you got to
on.
get medication, if you got to sit on somebody's couch, do what you got to do. Talk to somebody. Talk to somebody. And I want to say this to the listeners: you be a listening participant, meaning be present when they're talking to you. Do not bring yourself into the conversation. If they telling you about how they feeling down, just listen. Don't talk about, well, my kid's bad too. Ain't the moment for that.
Yeah.
That's not the moment. What you do, just be present for them. Allow them to express themselves. And to my saved and sanctified people, if a saint come to you and they are overwhelmed and they burdened and they say some things that we consider not godly, just allow them to express themselves. And once they get through express themselves, just say, hey, it's okay if I pray for you. If they allow you to pray, then you pray. Okay. Um, do that, and also help them process and encourage them to do the work. Quinn says, I need y'all help. Okay, we find a couch for you, Sister Quinn. We
Yeah.
got you. We got you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, once again, the national suicide prevention line is 1-800-273-8255. Y'all, we about to do our drawing,
Then the
and
spiritual
the
prevention line is 111. Come on, one for the Father,
111
one for the Son, and one for the
away.
Holy Ghost. Woo! They
Hallelujah.
all make one. Come on, you know how to put that in there. Come on, Holy Ghost.
Yeah.
Come on.
So pray, get your therapist. Pray, get your therapist. Okay, so this is the word. What's the I gotta find it. Hold on. Oh yeah, here you go.
No, it's a what?
This is the word for those who will be participating in this drawing. I had to find the
Gosh.
hashtag. I'm like, what the hashtag at? So I'm looking through my mic, y'all, trying to find a hashtag. It's just
Through the
slow right
mic.
Through
through the
the
Mhm.
mic.
mic. You heard it, right?
Through
Okay.
through the mic, trying to see. Y'all, I got X-ray vision. Y'all didn't know that.
Baby, you should be part of the X-Men.
Man,
Mm,
I secretly am. So when I disappeared, we know we're going up in our thing. We do, we do what we do.
my
So,
God.
Mm.
hashtag help is the word I need y'all to type in. Once we get everybody to type in hashtag help, then we're gonna do our drawing.
All right.
$25 gift card. Come on, good people. Hashtag help.
Come on, y'all better hit. Look, Miss Wanda be out, baby. Miss Wanda ain't playing with y'all. I'm telling
We got 4 entries. We got 5 people on here. Come on now. Let's do this. Got 6 people. Come on.
you.
Y'all, we need 2 more. 2 more. Y'all type in hashtag help.
Where Cheryl go? Cheryl said the car was hers anyway, baby. And she done. Where you at, Cheryl?
I was there.
I don't see it no more neither. She said the car mine.
Oh, she tagged. No, she's up on the conversation podcast, I believe.
Oh, that's her.
Uh-huh.
She said, "Help! Help is on the way. Help is
Yep,
on
it's
the
on
way."
the way. Okay, we got one more. We get one more, we're gonna pull it with everybody
Y'all
opportunity.
better not let
Right.
me come off line and make me put hashtag help. Y'all better let the little use y'all frankles.
If y'all don't, I'm gonna go ahead and pull it.
Hashtag
Let's
help.
do a countdown. Do a countdown. 10,
No.
9,
Eight,
8,
7,
7,
six,
Six, 5,
4,
4, 3, 2,
2,
1.
1.
All right, we're doing a drawing. Uh-oh, uh-oh.
Ooh, this is fancy.
Oh my God.
Woo!
Oh my
100
God.
point.
Did
Oh
you
my
win again?
God.
Oh
Look
my God.
at that. Yes. Oh, she won again. Oh.
She won.
Lord.
She won.
Miss Wanda, what
Auntie,
you want us to do? Do you want us to scroll again? Cause she gonna win every weekend. Y'all better.
look, she's a, and she didn't know we was doing a giveaway today because I didn't post it.
Y'all know.
My pastor said congratulations, favor.
But
Hallelujah.
she don't know
Exactly.
what to say, baby, because she
Stay
be getting
right
them
there.
every week.
Lord, but auntie's like, Lord. One while I thought it was gonna be Sherelle.
I did too.
It slowed down through there. That joker just, y'all, we
Scoop.
ain't got no control over the thing. Just let y'all know. Auntie said, yep, favor. Auntie, go run around the house, hit my uncle side the head, and tell him God did it again. Y'all, let's congratulate Wanda Tate on her winning this gift. Bro, she's, boy, I tell you.
Y'all better
Wanda,
get hot on it.
I really believe y'all think I be faking about these gifts. Y'all be slow responding. And look, now they want to log off like they ain't win. That's okay. But
Well, we have been on here almost 2 hours.
Yes.
mine, what? This been a fire conversation. Like, we so I want to say this. For those who want to give, you can cash app us at $ rare image number 26. If you have any questions about our packages, hit us
Too
up,
late, Marlon. Too late, Marlon.
email us. Yeah, he too late. Email us at rareimage26 at gmail. Wait a minute. No, that's not what it is. If you like to partner with us, you can fill out this job form. Now, if you have any questions about our packages, you can email us at rareimage26 at gmail.com. Listen, we want to let y'all know we love you. We appreciate you. Thank you for jumping in this conversation. Y'all, let's give a round of applause to our guest, Miss Tabitha C. Definitely have been a good guest on tonight. Said a lot of things. Now I'm gonna go back and listen to it because she said a whole lot of stuff. I'm gonna write this stuff down. And Jonisha she's just a book. That's all she is. She's a book. Just says so much powerful and giving so much powerful points. Um, this has definitely been good. If you want to give, there's ways to give. Sponsors is platinum 60, gold 40, silver is 20, bronze is 10. Scan the QR code, it'll go directly to a page. We don't see any of the information that you put in there. It goes straight to the bank. Everything is encrypted. Did I say the word right? Encrypted.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we're about to go out of here. We love you all. It's been almost 2 hours, guys. We talking longer and longer. Getting better. I'm just playing. But anyway, y'all, good night. We love you in Jesus' name. Father, we bless you. We give your name the glory. God, touch everybody that's listened to this podcast on tonight. God, those who are dealing with depression, where they are active, depressive, or they're in a low place, God, allow them to see that there's a light at the end of the tunnel and there's a door that lead out of the room of their depression. In Jesus' name, amen. All
Amen.
right.
Amen.
Peace out, good people.
Bye, everyone.
Peace
Peace.
in the middle.